So what's up, everybody? It's another episode of Kinda Inappropriate. I'm your host, Alexander Cortez. Now today we're gonna get into a different topic. Today we're gonna talk about motherhood and fatherhood. Me being a father of two girls, two twin girls, I see the treatment that I get drastically different from what my wife gets. Now in our household, the roles are reversed. My wife is, the main bread maker in the house. She's gerente, Navy. So she's a boss. She's 40 hours. She brings in the major income in the house. My income is significantly lower, so I'm in the house with the girls. Do mostly the housework and shit. It's funny to me that the way society sees these roles. Now, when my wife goes out with the girls and we'll go to Walmart, we'll go to whatever place, it's just your basic day. Nobody goes out of their way to say anything. It's just, I guess, what's expected. Now, when I go out, and I have no complaints about what I'm about to say, but it's just funny to me because when I go out with my girls, almost every single time I get stopped. And I'll get stopped either by an older lady or I'll get stopped by someone my age. And they'll come out and they'll tell me, "Oh, your daughters are so pretty. You're with them by themselves. Oh my God, what a good father you are." And like I said before, these are all compliments that I have no problem with. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way that I know that the individual person is telling me this in a good way, but it's also like, what the fuck do you expect? I'm their father. They're my children. They're my responsibility. And I know that it's based that I guess there's not a lot of fathers, a plethora of fathers that go out with their kids and grocery shopping and doing that because we live in a society where lamentablemente a lot of women are the ones that do that. The mothers are the ones that do that. In my circle of friends, I'm blessed that all my brothers, we are all, I would like to think, good examples of what fathers should be. My brother, Toma, is another situation where the role is reversed. He is a single father with full custody of his kid. Now that's something that you barely see. There's a lot of great fathers out there that have certain situations with the mother of the child. Each one is different, so I don't want to get into that. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle for good fathers to see, their kids and get quality time with their kids. So I was, up in arms for joy for my brother to get, custody of his kid. And he goes through, a lot of the same things that I go through in the way that we are viewed. I don't feel like I'm doing anything special. I love my daughters. My daughters are on this earth because of the actions that me and their mother took. We procreated them. We brought them into this world. It is our responsibility to take care of them. As a father, that's what the fuck you're supposed to do. If you have to wash clothes, take them to get their panties, take them to eat, cook them food. These are not, for me, it's not me going the extra mile to do anything. Those are my daughters. This is what I'm supposed to do. Society makes it look like a man that takes care of his responsibilities when it comes to fatherhood is seen like something so much more special. And when my wife does the same exact thing, it's just normal. It's just, that's what she should do. She's the mother. And that's something that's very negative. That's something that I'm going to teach my daughters, that when they get older and if they decide to have, children, these are not perspectives that should be handed down to them. The role of what a mother is and what a father is and what a mother is supposed to be, the things that she's supposed to do versus what a father is supposed to do. Um, I I I say that because we live in a world that's machista, and I don't necessarily consider myself a feminist in any way. I don't necessarily consider myself a machista. There's machista things about me that I try to change, and in the transcurso of my marriage and in the transcurso of being a father, there's a lot of things like that I have changed. I got a new view on a lot of things. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to teach them to view the world a little bit different, and it's hard because I have this conversation with my wife a lot about what society puts on you, what are the expectations that are warranted, I guess, or whatever. And a lot of that is wrong, especially in the Latin community. The Latin community, por más que sea, is a very machista community. And I believe, and I want to I want to tell my daughters, I want to teach them, make sure that they understand, that they learn that it should be equal rights. Washing dishes is not feminine, it's not masculine, it is a responsibility. If you shit, you wipe your ass. There's nothing special about you doing it. It's your responsibility to do that. So as a father, I think society should look at what I do with my kids and look at what my wife does as a mother, and view it as an equal field, equal plane. Because like I said before, I don't necessarily think, I don't believe that I'm doing anything special. I don't believe I'm doing anything that my wife isn't doing. And these are conversations that we have to continue so we could try to change that perspective. Because these are things that we created, or at least the older generations. I remember when I first got with my wife, it was expected of her to wash my clothes and to do certain things. And before me and her got with each other in a relationship, I was already living on my own. So I was used to cooking my own meals, cleaning my own house, washing my own clothes. But the older generations, they were raised different. That's why it's so important for us to start talking to our kids and teaching them expectations of society, what's realistic and what's not realistic, and try to not instill these things of you're a woman, so this is what you're supposed to do, or you're a man, you're a boy, you're gonna grow into a man, this is what you're supposed to do, because a lot of that creates these mental issues, these mental instabilities. I remember I had a lot of pride when me and my wife first got with each other. Pride of, everything has to be on my back. I'm the man in this relationship. I'm the man, the head of the family. So anything that's financial, anything emotional, everything, I'm the one that has to figure out everything by myself. And being with my wife as the time, has passed, you realize, or you would like to realize, you would like to have a relationship like me and my wife have, that we're very open with each other. It has gotten easier to break down some walls and have, straight conversation about what we need from each other in the relationship. And it's very, is for me, it was very difficult as a man. For me, it was very difficult to start off that, okay, I'm going to be staying home, I'm going to be with the kids, and my wife is going to be the one making the money. And from experience of what I seen when I was a child, money always brings trouble in the relationship. Who's bringing the most, or who's the one that makes, the decisions, when money shouldn't be a factor. It should always be something mutual. And that's how I see it. That's my perspective on that. It's definitely something that I would love to hear you guys in the comments, DM me, whatever. I would like to continue these conversations with you guys. How does your marriage work? How is it raising your kids? Because I know, at least on my friends, I know plenty of men that are, raising their kids, whether they be boys, girls, in this crazy world, this ever-changing world that we're living. I think we are in, I wouldn't say a crossroads, but we're in a very special place in the world where, at least my generation, we're in the middle, from old school and new school. We're not necessarily old school, we're not necessarily new school. So it's something that I'm very interested. I want to talk with you guys. I'm saying? This podcast, this pod post is all about communication. It's all about creating a platform where we can conversate, when we can talk. Now, I'm doing this now, starting it off by myself, but it's definitely something that I want to move into having guests. I'm not necessarily, anybody famous or any influencers. I want to just talk to you and talk to people, my friends, create new friends, and have these conversations that necessarily a lot of men don't have, and it's very hard for men to show their vulnerable sides, and for me to show that with my wife, it took years, and things got hectic between us, and a lot of that sometimes was breaking those own walls and being able to tell her, I'm feeling sad right now. Before I wouldn't tell her if I was feeling any type of anxiety or stressed or depression or anything like that. I wouldn't tell her because my wife suffers from depression, and before we got with each other, depression was the type of thing that it was just the way I used to see it. Well, buck the fuck up. Life is gonna be unfair. You gotta do what the fuck you gotta do. And being married to someone that has that goes through that has days where they're really happy, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this sadness comes, and it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening for me to experience that so close up, and then start questioning myself, is all these years, is that maybe something that I had? These mood swings where I was just like, well, fuck it, I'm sad, but who gives a fuck? Boo-hoo. Gotta get the fuck going. I got shit to do. Makes you question that. And I know for a fact that a lot of men don't have, a platform to talk about those things, to talk about these situations. They might feel uncomfortable talking with their wives about it, in the fear that it makes them feel less macho, shit like that. That was a fear, something that I had. I didn't like feeling soft. I didn't like feeling vulnerable. And I'm not necessarily a religious person, so I don't want to be like, thank God, but I am very grateful to my wife and to my kids, my daughters, Khaleesi and Aaliyah, for the experiences that I've had with them and the level of growth that I feel like I've had, before them and after them. So, yeah, like I said, these pod posts are always going to be short. It's not going to be, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. This is just something short to spark up conversation, hopefully. So, like I said, this is going to come out Friday at 6. Hopefully you get to see it, and it interests you guys enough that you want to start this conversation. You want to hop on here with me and, let's have this back and forth. Let's continue the talk about matters that necessarily we don't get to talk about. So this is your host, Alexander Cortez, and this episode wasn't so inappropriate. There are going to be episodes where you are going to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because I'm a potty mouth. But I hope you enjoy the episode, and I hope to see you guys next Friday. Till then, let's do this.